welcome to Lynchburg Live. I'm your host, Linda Smith. Once a year, depending on the success of our annual public charity auction, my club, Heimdal Science Fiction, sends a local middle school student to NASA's space camp in Huntsville, Alabama for a week. The recipient of our 2014 Space Camp Scholarship is Kylie Holbrook, and Kylie is here with me tonight to tell us all about her experience at Space Camp. Kylie, welcome to Lynchburg Live.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
You know, as we get started, will you tell our audience just a little bit about you, like where you go to school, how old you are?
Certainly. I go to school at Amherst Middle. I'm in 8th grade. It's my last year in middle school. I'm happy to go to high school. I'm 13. I was born in December. And I don't know, that's about it.
Well, we were glad that we could bring this scholarship to Amherst
Thank
schools.
you so much.
Now, you just spent a week in June, I think it was.
It was, yes.
At Space Camp in Huntsville, Alabama. How long did you stay?
6 days, I think. It was 5 to 6 days.
And you were there, when did you go?
I was there from the 8th to the 13th.
Of June.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yes,
and
it was.
You can tell our audience how you won this trip.
I wrote an essay to Heimdal Science Fiction about why I wanted to go to space camp and such. I didn't think I would win. I was just kind of playing around a little bit, but I was so surprised when my guidance counselor came in during science and she was like, gave me the papers and told me I won. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. And everybody started asking me if I was going to space.
Well, you kind of almost did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Or you found out what that felt like. You know, your essay was so good. Do you remember what you said?
A little bit. I admit that I stretched the truth a lot.
Now you tell us.
But I write a lot, so I'm happy to be able to. So occasionally I'll write space stories, so I'm happy to be able to actually write about what it feels like to have like 4 Gs of 4 times the gravity of Earth pressing down on your chest. It's a little overwhelming.
All right, since you mentioned that, did they actually put you in the simulators? How was that?
They did. Do you want me to tell you about the different simulators?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first there was a simulator. It's a very big circle, I guess, and it spins around and around, and you like the outside revolves, the inside doesn't revolve, but you're strapped to this little this plastic board, and halfway in it rises up to the top, and it makes a really loud noise, and it scares everybody. But you try to lift like your head and your feet, but you can't do it because the gravity is so pushing down on you. You just can't. And if you do, you get like really dizzy. But it was so fun.
Does anybody get sick on that?
Nobody that I know, but probably
somebody's.
Yeah. The other one was called the Space Shot. It was a really, really tall, I don't know, kind of like a roller coaster, except it didn't have those swoops, you know. But it went up in the air and like bounced, and then it came down full force.
Oh my goodness!
It was scary.
Now, what was that supposed to simulate?
Microgravity and 3 Gs. Microgravity when you're at the top and you're like bouncing up, like you feel like you weigh nothing. And 4 Gs when you're like rushing down to the bottom.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
But it still sounds like fun.
It was fun.
All right. Now, I was going to ask you, did you have a good time? But obviously you had a good time.
I did.
Was it everything you thought it was going to be?
No. I thought we would have more space-ish, I guess, bunks. But I liked it anyway. I know one of the things that I thought would be, was it like all white and metal and plastic, but it was just a normal room with bunk beds and stuff, which I loved because we had our, not little rooms, but little sections of wall that divided you from everyone else, and it was fun.
Now that was in the habitat?
Yes, that was in the habitat.
And the habitat looks like on the outside?
On the outside, it's very modern. It's kind of like netted looking plastic. but it's huge. It's like all curved and it's really cool. Like the inside, the hallways, it's all metal and white and blue and it's all curved and it's really cool.
That's great.
It was amazing.
Now, did you have to make any special preparations to go to camp? Like, did you have to have a physical exam? What did you take with you?
I took a lot of stuff. I took a lot of clothes. A bathing suit, though I didn't get to use it, which I was a little disappointed. I took a lot of stuff.
You know,
I brought even more stuff back home.
That's cool to do that.
Yeah.
One of the students that we spent to space camp, I said that they put them in snorkel gear and took them down underwater and let them play basketball with bowling balls.
That was that's Advanced Space Academy, and I was in regular Space Academy, but we couldn't go underwater because there was a storm.
Oh.
So and the building's obviously made out of metal, and they don't want people in the water while it's lightning and flashing outside.
And you don't want to be in there either.
Yeah.
All right, so did you know anybody at space camp?
No one at all. But by the end of the time, like the girls that I was rooming with, we would like sit in each other's butts and tell each other funny stories and like dare each other to do crazy stuff. Like one of the dares I got was to you know how the walls are like they're like this high from the ceiling, and the bunk beds are like pushed up against them. So they dared me to like go around the room climbing only on the bunk beds and the walls. I did. It was really fun.
So this is just like camp, like regular camp.
Yes, it was so fun.
So you made a lot of friends?
I did.
Do you think you'll keep in touch with them?
No, because I forget a lot of things very easily. I forgot to get their numbers on Facebook, so I'm a little sad about that. Well, one of my friends, he recently actually texted my dad because he forgot to say goodbye, so it was good to talk to him a little bit.
But I think that's wonderful that you got to interact with these other kids.
Mm-hmm.
Were there more girls or boys?
There were a lot more boys. There were like 5 girls on our team of 16 on my team.
16?
Yes.
16 on a team?
Yep.
Well, that's interesting because before I think there had been 12 on a team, so that's really cool.
Yeah, there are a lot of people at Space Camp that year.
All right, did they actually send you on a simulated mission?
They did. They actually sent on us too.
Oh, wonderful.
Us on too. It was I was ISS commander, which is the International Space Station commander, where you have to fix all the problems, you do experiments and stuff like that. And the second one, I was LMS Lunar Mission Specialist 5, where I got to put on a giant spacesuit.
Wonderful.
And like fix the Aurora. It's another space station. But spacesuits aren't really that fun. They are hot.
I can imagine.
They are hot, even with the even they put us in ice packs, and I was like, I'm gonna be freezing. No, it was hot.
So you learned a lot about what the astronauts really go through when they're up there. That really is interesting and exciting, I think. All right. Now on this mission, did something go wrong and you all had to troubleshoot or try to fix it?
That was ISS's main job, to fix everything. Like we have a giant keypad and it tells us, and Houston, the people down controlling everything and
mission control.
Yeah, basically yes. They tell us how to fix it because they have giant books that they have to go through and figure out what you have to do to fix it, what buttons to push. Normally it was the same fix every time, but we had a lot of anomalies.
Could you choose the position that you wanted?
Sort of. We took a survey, and it listed all sorts of things that we like to do. If we like to read, if we like to talk, if we're more the quiet type, and we were assigned different roles based on those qualities that we had.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you had 2 missions. What was your second mission?
The Orion mission. The Orion is it's a bell-shaped capsule, not unlike the Apollo, but slightly bigger. But it hasn't launched yet. It's actually in the future to launch. But That one I was the lunar mission specialist because we were going to the moon on that one. On the previous mission, we were just orbiting the Earth. It was really cool. But my favorite part, I think, was I was in the cockpit with the other 5 kids in there, and they have screens, and it shows, like, as you're rushing down through space and stuff, and it shows all the stars and stuff like that, and it shows the moon's surface, and it shows all these things that are, like, simulated, but it really added to the experience.
Oh, I'm sure it did. It made you feel like you were really there.
Yes, and they like blow wind at you, so you feel like you're pressing against your
wonderful.
seats, and it was loud and it was fun.
You know, you're making me wish I could go. They do
have an adult space
They
program.
have an adult space program, and all the people in our club really would like to go. Now, you've brought some pictures, and Phil, if you'll put them up on the screen, we'll get Kylie to tell us what they are.
That's my sister and I in front of the Discovery. It's a model to figure out how much it might weigh, how they would have to handle it. But that's my sister and I. Her name's Addison. She's 5 years old.
Good picture.
Yeah.
Were you just there before they left you, or before you?
Yeah, they came with me to bring me there. This is under one of the models. There's a misting thing to signify the propellers, and that G-force sign that you see back there.
Uh-huh.
That's the thing that I was telling you about, the spinning contraption.
That's exciting, and it's exciting that your brothers and sisters got to go.
Yes, they loved it.
And to see this part while they were dropping you off.
Yeah. That's just this spacesuit that an astronaut wore. I'm not sure who, but it's crazy because there's separate displays or whatever showing everything that had to be added on. So it must have been very heavy.
It has to be.
Yes. Oh, this is my graduation. I'm right there where Mr. Robert Hoot Gibson. Yes,
yeah.
I met him. He's actually a pilot for 5 of missions. He logged 191 hours in space, and he docked with the Russian Space Center Mir, if you've heard of it.
Right.
But that's me flipping my tag over.
So you did meet an astronaut.
I did.
Did you have an opportunity to go to lunch with him? Because some kids have been able to go to lunch with an astronaut.
No.
But you did meet him, and I think
I did.
And this is a well-known astronaut.
Yes.
This is people
Yes,
know him.
there's a picture with the backdrop of the world and McCallison, I think, using the MMU, the first MMU. But he's like in the backdrop of the Earth. If you're familiar with that picture, he took that.
That's wonderful.
Yes, it made a space magazine more than 5 times.
Well, I'm
the
glad
cover.
you got to meet somebody
Yes.
that everybody in the world knows, and out of this world too.
Yeah, this is it's a bike, sort of. It's a bike / airplane. It's because Alabama, they did not fly, but they invented one of the first airplanes. It's more like the modern plane that we have than the biplane, flown at Kitty Hawk. But it's just one of the displays. Is
this in a museum, or is it
Yes.
attached to the Huntsville Space Camp?
Sort of. It's just there's lots of museums. There's lots of museum buildings, but it's just one of the displays. Also another astronaut suit, one of the newer ones, as you can see. But it would be really, really heavy and really, really hot, and they actually had to have cooling systems to prevent astronauts from overheating in them. Yes, they're huge.
Was your spacesuit that you got to wear on these simulated missions, did you wear something like that?
Yes. It was more than one piece, and it wasn't the actual. It was sort of like the actual thing, but it wasn't as connected. There would have been stuff gone over and under it, but it was the general base of the astronaut suit.
So you got the feel of it.
Yes, and the hotness of it.
And the heat.
Yes. Skylab. Skylab is really interesting. It was sent up in space and then it crashed. It crashed in Australia actually, and they actually fined us for littering.
Oh, they did?
They did. We didn't pay because if we had paid them, if space junk lands in other people's places, the maximum fine they could fine was like $500, but other countries don't have those restrictions,
Right.
so we might be fined millions of dollars for space junk falling out of the sky.
Well, I'm glad they decided not to do that.
Yes, but there's only about a piece about this big left of it, and it was huge. This is the Apollo lander. I'm pretty sure it's not the original one. There's another model outside on a simulated moon surface or whatever. But this is what Neil Armstrong would have landed in on the moon. So I thought that was interesting. This is just a helicopter. I'm not sure the name of it. I'm sure my father knows, but one of our close friends, we call him Grandpa. He actually flew this helicopter, and he said that he's been looking for 40 years for it.
Oh my goodness!
And we found it because he flew this specific helicopter, which
That's
is really
wonderful.
cool. Yes. So we sent this picture to Grandpa, showing him we found his helicopter.
Is this you?
No, this is one of my friends, Luke. This is a Gemini. That's the position that you would have to do all the controls from, like setting it that for hours at a time, reaching up to do controls. But must have been uncomfortable, I'm sure. But I mean, at least you wouldn't get dizzy in space. Yeah.
I love this picture.
Yes. That's my brother, Jonathan. They exchanged turns to come up. Addison came up with me, and Jonathan brought me back home. But this is one of the kids' sections, and there's just, the bubble thingies, just something sort of fun. Oh, this was the rock climbing. Now, this was one of my favorite spots. I'm actually back there, me in the pink shirt. But
I thought that might be you.
yes, that's me. But they taught us how to rock climb and how to. It's kind of like a bungee cord, sort of, except it helps you spring up. Like if you kick off a rock, you'll bounce up. It's supposed to simulate not very much gravity because it's on Mars. It's Olympus Mons. You're climbing Olympus Mons.
Did you rappel too?
I'm not sure what that means.
I think it's where you go over the side of a mountain and you sort of bounce your way down.
Yeah, that's how you had to get down. Yeah, you pretty much just fell and kicked off the wall a little bit, but and it was fun. You got to bounce a lot.
We were talking about space suits and stuff. Now, as part of your trip, you also got a flight suit.
I did.
Did you wear that flight suit every day, or?
No, not every day. We actually wore normal clothes most of the time. For our missions, we wore our flight suits, and occasionally we wore our space camp T-shirts for pictures and such. But we really only wore this flight suits for special occasions, I guess.
Did you stay with the same team of people the
I
entire
did.
week?
Yes, I was on Team Calypso.
That's team what now?
Calypso. That's one of.
Calypso. Right.
Yes, it's one of Saturn's, I think, moons.
Right. That's all right. Now, not only did you have a good time, but you have learned so much.
Mm-hmm.
Just listening to you talk, I think you knew a lot of it before you went because you're interested in this sort of thing. But I think it's great that you had an opportunity to learn stuff that's exciting stuff.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
all right. Can you give us sort of a brief rundown of what a day was like for you? Just an average day starting in the morning and going until you got in bed.
Yeah, so we woke up about 8 o'clock, took showers, we had breakfast. We finished breakfast probably about 9 o'clock. Then we went to our separate activities. We had presentations. We had we had free time where we could wander around and do simulations. We had team time where we would get together and do projects and such, and that would take up pretty much the whole day. And we would break for lunch and then break for dinner, and then we would have a team meeting at the end of the day, just reviewing what we've learned, and then we go to bed, and we would go to bed about 9:30.
And kind of talk and do those things you were saying
Yes.
about climbing around the wall.
Yes.
That's just great. I was going to ask you if you had any spare time.
We did. We had about an hour to 30 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour every morning and evening, just to be in our habitats and just talk and run around and take showers and stuff like that. We had, of course, free time where we could just wander around and do whatever our team leader told us to do. And I had a really good team leader. His name was Daniel, and he was really fun. One of my favorite things that we did was we played tag in the museum. Well, not tag, hide and seek in the museum, and that was fun.
Oh, it would be so nice if you had a video of that.
Yes, but we played it in the dark.
Oh, well,
It was fun.
sort of a video of that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was very fun.
All right, were you involved in the aviation challenge at all?
I was not. I would love to be, but I was not. It's more of a not strict. It's more of a military-based thing. You sleep in different places. You wear camouflage. It's basically sort of like a boot camp.
Right.
But you learn how to fly planes and helicopters versus shuttles and orbiters.
So which do you think would be the most exciting?
I think I would prefer the aviation challenge
really?
because you get to do stuff in the lake.
That's
I'm a water person, but
if we'd only known that, you know, I really didn't know what the aviation challenge was, except that I had read that they sort of teach you how to fly planes and that kind of thing. But it's good that you're interested. You may win again. That would be cool.
Really? You can win
may.
twice?
I don't know. We haven't talked about it, but it may be possible. All right. So what part of the week did you really enjoy the most?
My favorite part was the second mission. That was on Thursday, I believe, but we got in the big puffy spacesuits. We called them marshmallow suits. But
was it hard to keep your balance?
it was. It actually was, because a lot of the times one side was heavier than the other, and it was just really awkward because you have these big giant gloves, and you're trying to handle all sorts of tools and try to fix things and fix windows and such. But that was my favorite part of the missions, because they really challenged you.
I'm
You
sure
had
they
to
did.
work as a team to be able to finish them, or you're dead.
Did
I mean,
everybody get along?
most of the time, yeah. We had a good team.
I guess if you're dependent on each other to get yourself out of a space problem, you've got to work as a team.
Definitely.
Do you think, Kylie, that anything you learned will help you in the future?
I'm really not sure. I mean, my career, I guess, as a writing, I like to write a lot. It'll help me when I write sci-fi and stuff like that. And I'll have a lot of space trivia that I know. But
And some of the technical stuff you
Yes,
know,
yes.
that'll be easy to write into a novel or a short story or whatever you decide to do.
yeah. But I'm really not sure. I mean, unless I decide to go into a career in NASA or something similar to that, I'm really not sure if I would ever use it. But I'm glad anyway that I got the opportunity
I'm sure.
to learn everything.
So how long have you wanted to be a writer?
I've pretty much written. I'm terrible at grammar. My whole family is. Pretty much all my life. Well, not all my life. Ever since I could write, I like writing little short stories. But I like writing a lot.
That's good. I mean, you can create your own world and your own universe, and I think that's cool. All right, what would you tell other students who may be interested in going to space camp?
Do you mean like advice for writing the essay?
No, just
Or-
just what, like if somebody said, do you think I'd like it if I had an opportunity to
You
go,
would-
what would you tell them?
Yes, I would tell them that it's an amazing opportunity and that, but you have to be dedicated because there's a lot of information and you do worksheets and stuff like that, and your team also depends on you on the missions and such. But you have to just work at it, and you have to work hard because they're challenging you. That's the purpose. They
Right.
want to challenge you, so you learn. I mean, you can't learn without being challenged.
You know, one of the essays we got, somebody said, I've been to 4-H camp, I've been to this camp, haven't been to space camp, might like to go. And you know, that didn't tell us that it was somebody who was really interested. But you came across as being really interested in it because of the writing and because of the experience, and I thought that was great.
Thank you.
All right. We just sort of touched on this, but would you like to go again if you
I
had
would
the
love
opportunity?
to. I would definitely. I would love to.
That's great.
Yes,
And
I would.
maybe see something else like the aviation challenge if you got a chance to do it.
Definitely.
That's great. All right, Kylie, I thank you so much for being on this show.
Absolutely.
And I thank you especially for being so enthusiastic about getting this gift and being able to go. And we feel really good about sending you.
Thank you.
Thank you again. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show and meeting Kylie. My next show will feature the recent 48-hour film project. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.